right? The attendees are
Coach Giovanni, you
coming
did
in.
all of this in 5 years. That's a lot of stuff.
It didn't fit the
So in
should make
5 years, look at
but he's been
that.
coaching for a long period of time. Again, would like to say good evening again to our attendees and good evening to our panel, led of course by Dr. Teddy Villasor. He's a known sports psychologist here in the Philippines, and if you want to contact him, he'll be more than happy also to give online consultations. But Teddy, say hi.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Coach Giovanni, good morning. It's 7 in the morning there, right?
Good morning, guys. Good afternoon over there.
It's good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, I forget. Good evening. 8 p.m.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Without further ado, Coach, we've been friends for a long time, and right now, I'd like him to tell his story, his coaching background, and I know he's a GM now, but from being scouting to assistant coach to head coach, he's been in every level. So, Coach, I'd like to introduce to you, coaches, dear coaches, Coach Giovanni Rivera, all the way from Mexico. Coach?
Yes, guys. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. It's really a privilege for me being part of these great and awesome clinics. I pretty much know all of the panelists that you've been having, so it's people that I really admire because they achieve something into basketball, personal life. So I just feel blessed to have the opportunity to share. And to be honest, that is not too much talking about me in terms of where I've been coaching. I rather want to just get into the clinic. But just a quick story from my coaching backgrounds. It's and I didn't realize this until my daughter asked me, because by the time I started coaching 17 years ago, obviously I wasn't married. I didn't have any kids. So now my kids ask me, oh, what countries you been, Daddy? And I told them where I've been blessed to be. And I didn't realize until I talked to them, and a friend was there on that meeting, and I didn't realize that I've been working in 4 out of 5 FIBA zones, and I didn't knew that. I had a chance to coach, obviously in the FIBA Americas. Obviously, I'm from Mexico, and I had a chance to coach as well in other countries from this part of the world. I had a chance to work in Colombia. I had a chance to represent the under-18 national team in Brazil, and I did some scouting jobs for teams in Venezuela as well, Uruguay. So that kind of pretty much covered the FIBA America zones. Then I was blessed to be working in, I will say, the top academy in the world. It's located in Canary Island, Spain. It's called CBA, Canaries Basketball Academy, and I was blessed to be there for the first time generation of that academy. So that pretty much covered my FIBA Europe travel when I was there for like 4 months. Then I moved I worked directly for the Syrian Basketball Federation. If I am not wrong, that was in 2012, and I was just working with it was more of a training camp for all of the national teams. So I had a chance to work with under 16, under 18 national team, and couple individual trainings for the guys from the senior national team, men and women's. And few years later, I was blessed again to go to Morocco and coach Shabaf Rif Al Usaima, and we went to the FIBA Africa's club, FIBA Africa's club in Tunisia. So when I mentioned it, it sounds amazing to me that I've been blessed enough to see the world, and I'm just one FIBA zone away FIBA Oceania from cover the whole
Mhm.
5 FIBA zones in the world. So I think
The
that's
whole, the whole world.
the whole world, yeah. So if there's any Australian team that want to take me, uh, that will be a great record to do. But right now, I'm for the past 3 years, I'm into being a basketball general manager for this team called Libertadores de Querétaro. We are by far the greatest organization in Mexico, even though we haven't make it to the playoff for the past 3 seasons. But I want to make sure that this is all of the coaches that come to our team when they play against us, like everybody will talk to me about like, Coach Gio, please bring me here to work because we have the greatest conditions for a coach to perform. Like you have access 24 hours to our gym. We have the whole facilities, like the whole setup is pretty nice. As far as economics, like I said, we are by far the best organization in the league. And I managed to take the franchise approximately, uh, let me tell you, about 12 more times the franchise value in these past 3 years, because all of the assets that we achieve as a players, we got them, we develop them, and then we sell them, and we got many players rights, and so the value, the franchise value came up, like I said, to probably 12, 13 more times. So I think that speaks of the franchise itself. So that's what I'm doing right now. And scouting, believe it or not, right now as a GM, it plays a huge role into the organization because I'm in charge of not actually make the scouting reports because now the whole staff make it, but
Mhm.
scouting is a huge part of game preparation. So I make sure I get a copy of myself just to know what coaches are trying to achieve onto the next game, onto the next practice. So when I have those one-on-ones with players, I know what the coaching staff expects out of them, and I can remind the players on the agreements that we had, how they gotta stick to them. And the scouting reports also serve as a way to sign players in the future because I'll be doing some individual scouting and evaluations for players that we want to sign from, especially from import players. So scouting plays a huge part of my role now as a GM in my daily basis.
That's good. Okay. All right. You can go on with your presentation, Coach.
Okay, I can go on. If you don't, I'm gonna go to the share screen and hold on. Yeah, you guys can see it, right?
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in this clinic, I would like to talk about overall scouting, some stats, and something that I call, and this is me personally, I call aggressive transition offense, and you will see why I want to talk about this topic also. It is a huge part of the game, and when you do analytics, data, and all of that, you will find that 27% of the possessions are played in this early phase of the game. There's probably a four percentage of playing fast break, the first 4 seconds of possession, and then we have this period from second 5 to second 12 from playing this transition game. So if the game itself now has been moving to play in these early stages, these early phases, I think we rather try to get something out of it. So I'm gonna speak of that for the last part of the presentation, and I have some clips to show you. But to start, I wanted to talk to you about the importance of advanced scouting. And the first thing about it is that if you have the information, pretty much information is power. You know what to expect. Coach Wooden said that fail to prepare, and you are preparing to fail. So I think that You gotta be able, as coaches, you always have your plan, your overall plan, like during the season, and then you break it down probably into weeks, and then you go uh, day by day practice plan. And I think scouting just plays a huge role into this, because that way you know how to prepare yourself for the next rival that you're going to have. And scouting is not only for on how to detect tendencies from the rivals. It also serves you to make a good analysis on how you guys are doing things. So that's the main thing. You want to be prepared. You want to have as much information as you can to prepare your team for your next performance. And I think that's just a key word, performance, because uh, and Dr. Teddy, he's a psychologist, and then he will tell you about the importance of not focus like on winning and losing itself. It is about rather working on your individual and team performance, because when you put too much pressure and too much focus on winning, when you don't achieve it, then you feel like you don't have nothing. So we would rather, I try to give them a scouting where you focus on your individual and team performance. And that way we make everybody accountable, and whatever happens in the game at the end, win or lose, we always try to to make analytics on their performance. Okay. And before I get into the topic, I really will talk about something that has to be with coaching philosophy, especially in these days where there's just a huge, a lot of clinics around the world. Actually, I don't have enough hours of the day trying to absorb all of the knowledge that has been shared. And this tip right here is for young coaches out there who are starting their career. And my first recommendation will be set your coaching philosophy, set who you are, know what you want to teach and accomplish. Because one of the mistakes that I did on my early years was that I watched a clinic on Friday about pressing, and then on Monday I wanted to go and press. On Saturday I watched a clinic about 2-3 matchups on, and guess what? On Tuesday I just wanted to install a 2-3 matchup. I watched some Bobby Knight drills, and then on Wednesday I would just go and try them. So I think right now, with all this information that is being shared, the most important thing will be, what is your coaching philosophy, who you are, what you want to share, and then grab little pieces from whatever you see to your own coaching philosophy. Uh, Set who you are. I think that's important for me. And when people, players, staff, managers see you are a genuine person, I think everybody will just go on your philosophy. And there's a saying that says that you always gotta be a first-rate version of yourself instead of a second-rate version of somebody else. So you really want to accomplish what you believe. That's your coaching philosophy. And in this COVID time, this quarantine that we are having, I think it's showing us a huge grade of taking a deep breath and look inside who we are. And I think this time is especially to for growing, personal growing, just being a better person. And in terms of basketball, everybody pretty much is talking about defensive system, offensive system, but Coach Mike Krzyzewski defined the triangle, and it's called the docs. That means you got to establish a defensive system, an offensive system, but as well a communication system. Okay, and I think in this communication system, I'm gonna touch some of the. I'm gonna touch the topic and speak of it into the presentation. Communication now plays a huge part of any type of relationship, and basketball is not the exception. Uh, you get to work with individuals, with persons, and you got to be able to know who they are, how you can empower them and make them click into this performance. So I will talk about of this in the presentation. So let me go to on Wide Scout. Okay, here it is. In terms of advanced scouting, what is good for it is because you can collect data on potential targets from markets identified by the organization. I told you before, I use this as a general manager with my coaches to look for imports for the future, especially for imports. And when we do it for the locals, we do it for young players that are coming out from college. And these players that we call pochos, they are Mexican Americans that have been developed in the States, but they got their Mexican citizenship. So we make sure that we have them from 2 years in advance, and we start scouting and follow them so we can bring them in. So scouting plays a huge part in terms of your organization when you want to bring another import player, okay? Advanced scouting is good for individual and team tendencies from players and as well coaches, because once you get to see a nice scouting report based on what you want to see, you will find that there's obviously X and O's type of tendencies that teams will have. But it's funny to say that you will notice certain types of patterns and tendencies from coaches, like they will have times where they will call a timeout. You will know when they will make a substitution. You will know when they will switch from man to zone. So there are some key factors that will determine coaches' tendencies as well. And that information, we make sure we have this little chart where we mark things, and then you will find coaching tendencies too, okay? It's important to mention that basketball scouting over the period of time has changed, and it went from taking notes like during the game or watching the game on your TV couch. It went from that to data analysis, tracking injury history, psychological aspects, and all of that comes with supporting all of that evidence with video. I tell my players, like after a win or a loss, when they some of them try not to be accountable and they come with excuse of some, I tell them, hey, men and women, we lie, but stats and video, they never lie. So you want to make sure you back up all of this information by using video as well data, okay, real data. Decision in scouting was based more upon emotions in the past. It was about the believing, oh, I believe this, I think this will happen, but not anymore. I think right now you gotta support all of your information with data and use all forms of intelligence. And I think this has become a huge part of the scouting. And the reason you will see this little graphic is because I insist, believe me, I insist very much in this team development system, this communication system, where you want to make sure there's a huge respect between the coaches, okay, the head coach, his staff, meaning assistant coaches, physios, and nutrition, psychologists, all of that, and as well the general manager. I think all of the three gotta be in a way where they believe to each other. Right now, I don't know, you have been watching the Michael Jordan documentary, but it talks about some miscommunication between the general manager and Phil Jackson. I think that's a huge part, and egos. We as coaches, we have just too much egos, and this used to happen to me because when I did my coaching back in the day, I thought that when they signed me for coach the players, coach the staff, and even coach the managers in a way where how I would like things to run for everything to happen. And that ego, away from being through, it just gets you in a lot of troubles because your ego won't let you play as a good teammate. You gotta be in strict communication with your managers, because in a strict order, if there is a line between like the ownership, president, GM, then it comes the coach. But when you are coaching and you win too many championships, you are the top coach in your country and all of that, you kind of get lost into it, and then you think it's all about you and the coaching. But you got to realize there's a lot of it. So scouting right now for our organization, it represents a lot because it will dictate how we're gonna grow up as an organization, and how that will impact my job and bring more assets to the organization. It would also impact on the staff, because uh, when we discover these patterns that we are doing to ourselves, we want to make sure we share this information with everybody, with all of the staff. So if we are not getting back on defense, so I got to make sure I talk to my conditioning coach. If guys look slow on the game, I got to make sure I talk to the nutrition lady. If they cannot move, I got to make sure I talk to my physiotherapist staff. So, and the coach, he got to make decisions. So that's why I really insist on making sure that we have a huge communication system between, and I'm going to insist too much on this, between the managers, the coach, and all of the staff. And before we and I think when you do that, when you put those egos aside, and then you have that selfness, I think that's when you can accomplish more of as an organization. Speaking of selfness, I really want to speak of this. And how do we achieve this? Simply by knowing that a person does not become whole until he or she becomes a part of something bigger than himself or herself. And I think once you get into that position and your organization, everybody into the team understands that they are being part of something higher. I think everybody will be just right clicking on it. Um, Before like we really jump into the scouting, I wanted to share one page about this little treasure that I've been having for the past few years, and it's this book of Mike Krzyzewski, Beyond Basketball, where he speaks about all of on what he believes, all of the values. It's an amazing book that you don't read it like in order, like you can just open in any page and then it will talk about love, it will talk about team communication and all of that, and then it will tell you what he believes as a coach about that emotion, and then he will tell you a story about the team. And just making sure that I share this selfness uh, value with you guys, I would like to tell you a story, because Mike Krzyzewski, and this is not me, this is Mike Krzyzewski. Selfness means that you will do what is best for the team. Jimmy Balbano once told me, a person does not become whole until he or she becomes a part of something bigger than himself or herself. It is the best and most simple description of being a member of a team, and it rewards that I have ever heard. Being part of something bigger than yourself requires selfness and understanding that there will be a personal sacrifice for the good of the team. And most people desire to be part of something bigger and to feel as if their actions are for the greater good. And it comes a nice story, coach. Non-scholarship players, known as walk-ons, have always been an important part of our program, serving as an ideal illustration of selfness. They receive minimal playing time and virtually no media attention, but they are expected to work as hard as any All-American. One of the greatest walk-on stories of my career came in the 2004-2005 season after a back-to-back losses to Maryland and Virginia Tech. I was furious with my starters and a statement needed to be made. In a brief meeting following those losses, I announced to our team that those who had exhibited the best work ethic during will be rewarded with a starting position against our upcoming opponent, Wake Forest. My staff and I thought it would be a key moment in our season, a turning point, and that it will send a message to the entire team. But what happened, thanks to the selflessness of a former team manager and junior walk-on Ross Perkins, turned what we thought would be a good moment into a great one. Our next practice, I put the names of four out of five starters on the board. They were all walk-ons. I then told my team that whoever played the hardest in practice that day will be given the fifth spot. At the end of practice, the lineup was this: 4 walk-ons and J.J. Redick. A walk-on can expect to see only a few minutes of play time through the course of a season. So for a walk-on to start in a conference game has the potential to be one of the greatest days of that individual's life. After the lineup announcement, Ross Perkins asked if he could come by my office and speak with me privately. Of course, I replied. When Ross came in 20 minutes later, we sat down and began a great discussion. Coach, when you put my name on that board, it was the proudest moment of my life. Coach said, Ross, you deserve it. You are going to start against Wake Forest tomorrow. What happened then changed the course of our season. Ross looked me into the eyes and said, Coach, thank you so much for the opportunity and for having confidence in me. But I think it would be better for the team if Sheldon starts tomorrow. He was a kid who truly wanted what was the best for the team and was willing to give up what could have been a very memorable personal moment in order for us together to be as successful. What an amazing thing. I was completely taken aback. Now the moment was no longer about my disappointment in our team's play for the past 2 games. Now it was about the incredible selflessness of this kid and his sacrifice of individual glory for the good of the team. Ross' actions remind us all what it means to be a part of something bigger than you. And I will talk about Ross Perkins and his selflessness for the rest of my career. Sheldon did start against Wake Forest, and we were victorious in what was a tightly fought game. Ross was the first player I went to hug afterward. Ironically, he never played a second in that game, but his selflessness is the reason we won.
Coach, can I share something about the book?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy you brought this book up. I also recommend it to all the coaches. The essence of the book is about 30 to 40 keywords. And Coach Krzyzewski suggests that coaches give their own definition for each word because these things can mean, have different meanings for different people. Yeah, that's it.
No, that's awesome. I really want to share about it. And it's just funny how we went from scouting to talking about this communication, because I really believe in, like I said, develop this triangle where I develop my defensive system, offensive system, but as well, and very important, our communication system. So trying to sum it up everything, having this great relationship with all parts of the game will take you to the next level. Speaking of scouting, there is a process, there is a technical process on how you have to make it happen. So the first one will be definition of aims and search areas. What happened to me in the past few clinics and years is that everybody will, just to set a couple of examples, it exists this software that we use, an export, where you make your own tags and you look for specific things, okay? And there's a huge board of a lot of tags, okay? We want to see, I don't know, on defense, we want to see transition, rotation, second rotation, all type of stuff, offensively, defensively, transition, communication. And there's a lot of people that will ask me for the layout, for like how do we have the the whole layout and how do we have these cuts. And and I try to give it to them. Like it will take me 5 minutes to send it on an email. But it is not about having it, because you have to set from the beginning what you want to know. Like I can give you a printed guide, but it might not fit for you. Once again, it comes to your coaching philosophy, to see what you want to accomplish, what you want to do, and then from there you define what is the most important things for you to evaluate. So I really want to share this because it all starts when you scout on setting the goals from the beginning, what you want to evaluate, what you want to accomplish. Once you do this, you go to the next step. Step number 2 out of 7. The number 2 will be selection of information sources and methods to employ. And here you go to, speaking of high basketball level, then you will go to, okay, how are we gonna get this video? Is the coach is gonna send it to me? Do I have to download it from Facebook Live? Do I have to hire an internship to record all the games? So you make sure you select where you're gonna get all of this information. That comes from video and as well for data analytics. Okay, where you get all of these stats. And if you don't have access to it, how you're gonna be able to make sure you have it? Like I said, hiring a internship. Or the number 3 will be obviously the collection of data. Once you know what you are looking for, once you know where you're gonna get it, make sure you collect everything. And the next one, number 4, will be filtering, analyze, and interpretation of data. And this plays a huge part of the game because we have a tendency to overload people with information. So you want to make sure you present to the coach what really needs to see. Like you don't want to give coach basically the whole game. You want to make sure you chop it up in a way coach just right get into it, and you want to make sure you put a quick brief of what he wants. You just don't give him everything, okay? And then it comes evaluation and decision-making process, where you, in terms of preparing your next rival, you want to make sure what you want to show to the players, how you want to welcome that on the court. And okay, at the end, almost at the end, you want to have how are we gonna use the information? How are we gonna present it to the players? How are we gonna present it to the manager? And how the coach is gonna work on it on the court. And then it comes the outcome. Okay, on the outcome, it's about what you guys gonna give to the, like I said, to these three people. When I speak of the outcome, I recommend a couple things. My first thing will be like, for the, you gotta have a game plan, okay, for the team. And when I speak of this, it's information that I've used in the past few years. And you gotta have a general manager game plan that very basic if you want, because not all of the coaches have been blessed to work with a general manager that really knows about X and O's. It happens that sometimes general managers, they are very experts and very successful on business. They are really great businessmen, and that's the reason how they got the job. So the franchise can get more value, and they know how to manage assets, but they are not really into X and O's. And you really want to close that gap by making a very short and very understandable scouting report for the GM. So the GM knows exactly what to expect out of each one of the players, and as a team for any of the practices and any of the games. So if you kind of break it up in a way that he can understand it after the game, uh, good or bad performance, the GM can know itself what happened into the game. you will see sometimes, and this should not happen, but it's something that happens. Uh, Players try to go over coaches' head and try to go directly and speaking to the GM about and trying to cover themselves, okay? Because they if they have a bad performance during a couple weeks or something like that, they are trying to cover their job, and they will be trying to come with little excuses, oh, the system, the playing time, this and that. But when you make sure your GM knows what you told the guys to do, he will know steps ahead before the player even come. Here in our organization, we never have those type of discussions. Like there has been times where people, they don't even get to know the owner of the team. Like players won't even know who the owner is, like because they know there is a coach that is fully supported by the organization, and that's who they gotta see. Now I make sure I have some one-on-one times with them, like once a week. I come up and talk to them, like how you guys been doing, and all of that, because that makes my job easier. I try to take a lot of my time on how to solve things, on how to install new systems, on how to, and being creative instead of giving my whole time to being reactive. Oh, this problem happens, then I gotta react. Uh, when I have this information and the systems, it prevents the organization from being reactive, and then you are being proactive. You prevent what's going to happen in terms of X and O's, and in terms of philosophy, injuries, in terms of nutrition. Scouting gives you a lot. So for me, my recommendation will be, you as coach, you want to make sure you give a very short brief of what you want to accomplish as your game plan versus your next rival for your GM. Very brief, very short, in words that he will understand what you want to accomplish. So when they see and they watch the game, they know, they already know, okay? And that way they will support more of the collective goals that you are having. The next the next scouting report that I want to talk about it will be about what you give to the players. And then I will divide it in two types of scouting. One, it will be something like you will see on video, okay? Maybe some team tendencies from the rival. How do they do the pick and roll? A couple of actions or what they do on offense or something like that. But my recommendation will be 5 to 6, maybe 7 minutes at the most, like right before practice. Like you don't want to chop it up and then have a 45-minute session where you go through all of the sets and all of that. Instead of that, you really want to work on actions. Okay, down screens. How are we gonna do down screens? And then you just walk it on the court, and right before that, walk through practice. I think a 5 to 7 minutes, real quick compilation of video to show the players will be enough for them to understand. Because I used to have these 30 minutes clips where I go through all of the sets and this, and I will be okay. They have this option, this option. Sometimes players don't even know our sets; they forget it. It will be it will be crazy for us to think that they will know our sets, their sets, and all of that. So you want to really chop it up in a way and shrink it in a way where you know what you're going to do against any of the actions, okay?
So,
And then you want to give them a printed one.
excuse me. So you recommend 7 minutes, coach? The max?
Yes,
All right.
no max. 7 minutes of team tendencies, okay? Uh, and we will talk about it. We will talk about it, how you structure it, okay?
All right.
From the scratch. And then you will give this printed version. Well, not printed. Right now, everything is electronic, but like you will give them this electronic scouting of individuals. But my recommendation for this individual scouting of the rival is not to have a meeting and go through what they do. If you are playing on Saturday, you make sure you give them this since Monday, like you share with them on WhatsApp. So when they get to have some free time, when they get to right before they watch Netflix at home, like right before they jump into shower or something, they believe me, they will get into it instead of having a meeting, 30, 40 minutes meeting of going on what they do. You'd rather use that time onto the court and walk through the tendencies that the team does. So I think my recommendation will be send it electronically. They will get into it. They know. They're gonna come with ideas. Believe it or not, they're gonna come and talk to you as coach and be like, "Hey, coach, I saw this. How you want to do this? How you want to do that?" And then you let them be part of this creative process where they're gonna come up with solutions. Okay, so you want to make sure you give to this like early into the week, and then if you have back-to-back games, I mean, you manage your time, but you want to make sure you give this time ahead so they know how to prepare mentally for the game instead of a whole meeting. And then you have this coaching, this coaching scouting that you will give to the head coach. So it sounds like a lot of work, but basically number one will be this giving all of this scouting to the coach, where you give all data, all videos, and then the coach and the staff will be knowing how to work any of the situations that will happen and trying to prevent, okay, all of the situations from the game. And then all of the whole thing, you subtract what you're going to give to the GM and what you're going to give to the players. Okay.
Attendees, so you provide different scouting reports to the GM, to the players, and to your head coach, depending on what you want to focus on or what should be given based on your recommendation.
Exactly. And now I will give you a couple of examples, okay? A few examples on how to do a video for the players. I will show you something real quick, and then I will show you another one from on what you give to the players, but like printed and electronically. So I will give these recommendations. I will have some layouts that we will see that for the people that want the layout, like it's pretty general, they can get it. I can send it to you, and if somebody needs a copy of it, they can have it.
All
and
right.
then I'm gonna share on how you make your own scouting. So this is can you see it, Coach?
We see the outcome. We're still in that screen
Okay, let me go
on
to
the GM's.
hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go to the home. I'm gonna show you to.
Yeah, the questions also are pouring in, so I think basically answered most of them, but I'll ask it in a question and answer.
Okay. Hold on, Coach. Let me show you, because I really want to show you this video on how to do it. I don't know what happened right here. Hold on.
My scouts from my team are watching. I hope they are this detailed. So I'll be expecting the same scouting. So shout out to my assistant. I don't want to name them.
No, let me hold on. For any reason, I can't go. Hold on. Optimize. For any reason, I cannot get into the video, Coach. I don't know what's.
Can you play it on QuickTime?
Yep.
Yeah, try to play it on QuickTime and then share again. I think QuickTime also can we can view it better.
Okay, give me a quick second because
No problem, Coach. We got plenty of time.
I tried this yesterday, but this is the this is the Murphy's law, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the videos you sent me yesterday were pretty good. Or another thing is you can email it to me also,
Yeah, I really want to email it to you and hold
and
on.
I can download and I still show it.
Okay. I don't know really what's happening, but
Uh,
I don't know.
Wait,
I'll,
I'll try to. Okay, there. Okay, now your
uh,
turn. Maybe sometimes it just goes on and off.
sometimes it happens. Hold on.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I will try to figure this out. I will try to figure it out now. But I really want to go to the into the presentation. So
Okay, go to the presentation first. If you have time to email it, so I can be downloading it while you're presenting also.
yeah, hold on. Okay. I will show you this. Hold on a second. You can see this right now.
It's a bit blurry. We cannot see the text.
The text. Okay, hold
Okay.
on. You see it now?
Starting.
Still the same.
Still the same.
Still the same.
Uh,
Well,
That happened earlier, but it cleared up.
okay. Well, my computer is looking good, but I don't know if can you see this better or not?
no,
Can't.
no, can't. We can go to the question and answer first. What you can do is send me both files, so we can I can download it, and probably from my end we can play it. It's probably because it's all coming from uh, Mexico and going here, so maybe that's it. So what you can do is email it to me now, and then I can download. And while Teddy goes through the question, you can answer the questions.
Okay, let's go to the questions, and I'll send you this because I have this, and I don't know if this will be one of the questions, but I have this layout on a PowerPoint that I will give to the team, send it through like WhatsApp, and I make this is a real scouting of what we did against any of the teams. I make sure I shrink it and I give you the overall idea for
Yes.
a guard, for a point guard, from a small forward, and from the big mans. And I'm gonna send it to you. So for any of the coach out there that they don't know how to present it to the players, you can just use it and erase and just put new photo and data, and then you will have it. Okay. I really
Yes.
want to show you now, but you can have it as well as the video.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can send it now while we're answering questions on
Oh,
email.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so I can
I'll
download it. So I can
okay.
download it, and maybe we still got time. We can still show it.
Okay, I'll send it right now. Let's go to the questions that we have right now so we can continue with the presentation.
What are the stats that you recommend to track? Name
Okay.
at least 5 categories to prepare for a game plan.
Okay, is when it comes to stats, I don't use 5 categories. I use for the basic one. Like if you don't have an idea, you just go and you're for something that is called the 4 factors, and it will be effective field goal percentage, turnover percentage, offensive rebound percentage, and free throw rate. Those are the 4 key factors that you will need. I have this on an Excel file, and hopefully it works because I want to make a live example with you guys. This will
Okay.
be also in the documents that I will share with you. This
Yeah.
is this is our own creation. This little Excel program we actually made it, and it comes with formulas. But right now it's in a very easy interface to use. You just put how many points this very easy, and that way you will find something. So we're gonna talk about statistics now. as soon as we finish this, but a great question, okay?
Coach, could you run by that again? Free throw rate. What were the others? Rebounds, offensive
Yeah,
rebounds.
effective field goal percentage. It's called the four factors, okay? When you Google that, four factors basketball, it will explain to you why they are important, how to calculate them. But they are number one, effective field goal percentage. Number two, turnover percentage. Number three, offensive rebound percentage. And number four, free throw rate. I will share that. I will share the Excel file with you guys.
Excellent, excellent.
Next question, Coach. Do we have any more?
Coach,
Yeah, we have a call. Okay, go ahead, Teddy.
from Coach One, if you have limited time to give a report, like a 3-day game gap, what areas should you focus on in terms of scouting for a coach and for the players?
Okay, that's the next layer that I will talk about it right after. Like I can see on my background, as soon as we finish the question and answer, I will give you a very simple guide from the scratch. If you don't have time, if this is the first time for you doing this, what you focus on. So stay tuned because it's the next presentation will answer that question.
Okay. So, if Coach, you can email me the files now. You can on my Gmail, so I can download it while you're answering.
Okay, I'm doing it.
All right.
And do we have more questions, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
Coach.
Well, from
Another
Jordan.
question from Coach Julio.
Okay.
Okay, Coach Ariel, go.
All right. What are the most important stats and or the useful ones when it comes to advanced scouting? I think you answered it already.
It's the same, but I will send to Coach Ariel, and I will try to show it right now to you guys. We have this software that is called Instead, and they give you a super huge and precise analytics outcomes. So I will show it to you while I take a deep look into it. But if you don't have that, you just go into the four factors. But I'm gonna show you what I do as a GM and our coaching staff. Okay. Next questions.
In terms of digital tools, what do you recommend?
Well, it depends of what you want to accomplish. If it's about the outcome, how you want to present to them, well, you have to do a video, and for that you have a lot of software we use. We used to do Pinnacle. We used to do. Some people even do iMovie on the iPad, but we do a sports software called Naxport. That's what we use. And if you want to talk about how you're gonna present the templates to present this to the players, it's gonna be into the documents that I will send to Coach Ariel. I made a very easy PowerPoint file where all you have to do is erase the name, the photos, all of the information that I have, and that way you present to the players into a PDF file. Now, if you want to talk about electronic tools for capture all of the resources where you're gonna get the video, there's a couple of softwares that we use to download videos from YouTube. There's another software, free software that we use to download lives from Facebook. And I don't know if you're speaking of that, but I can share those names with Coach 2 on the email. So if you have any doubt, you can just go and download those two softwares.
Thank you, thank you. On halftime, what stats you look at during halftime from
Well,
Coach
once
Ryan?
again, once again, it depends on your coaching philosophy and the game plan that you have, because you have to remember one thing, and I really like it. I really like this question because you don't change who you are. Like when you are doing this scouting and this video from the past, you will, let's say, for example, you will see that there's a team that lost the past 3 games against teams that play zone. But what will happen if you are a team that always practice man to man? You just don't switch it to zone because you want to win against that team. You gotta know, you gotta stick on what you know. So that's number one. Number two, there's a game plan that you want to accomplish. Like after you have all of this information and evaluate how you're gonna prepare for that game, and then you give this printed game plan, you walk through the players on the court, you give it to the GM, the game plan, you gotta make sure you execute it. So let's say, for instance, you want to be very aggressive on the ball and getting on the passing lanes and all of that. So maybe you want to have an stat on and see how many deflections you'll be getting. Maybe you want to see how many rotations we have. Like, it all depends on what you believe and what you want to evaluate. Like, I cannot give you what I do specific look into in the halftime. Like, it depends, like, game by game. Now, obviously, there are some key factors that I look at it, but me as a GM, when there's the game, at halftime, I pretty much look at the offensive rating. I look at it. I look at defensive rating, and I look at the turnover percentage. And we have this, and I have these coaches that they'll be doing notes on the side. They are part of the coaching staff, but they are watching the game from not in the bench. Okay, they are somewhere in the arena, and I have them making these stats of spacing, players' movement, and ball movement. Those are the 3 key elements in any offense. If you don't have any of those 3, then it's not a good offense. So I want to make sure that all of the set possession and all of the transition, I want to make sure there's a great time. There's good spacing, good ball movement, and good players movement. So I have one of the people that we hire making sure they scratch all of the possessions. So when we go to the halftime, we walk through like, hey, we're not having this rhythm, this and that. But this is just what I do, okay? But like I said, it all depends on what is your game plan, what is your coaching philosophy, and then that will tell you what you want to evaluate, okay? More question, coach?
From Coach Julio, we have a question. How do you cover reflect intangibles, such as hustle, basketball IQ, mental toughness, in your scouting reports?
Yeah, it's kind of what there's a there's a special layout that that you can make. Like, the question comes with the answer itself. Like, you evaluate this, but if you want to give this information to the players, it's fine. Or you can just keep it for yourself. Like, when you are playing a game, you scout your own team. Like, after the game, you will have this template where you evaluate the intangibles. If you dive for the loose balls, communication. There's a crazy. You can even track how many times the team's high five. Speaking of that, I watched a research last week that it was made on California University by proximity. Teams touching and having this nonverbal communication, believe it or not, are the most winning teams. So just for the record, how many times do you think Steve Nash high fives their teammates and pat them on the back or something? How many times during a game in average do you think it happens? This is a question for Ariel and Teddy. How many times do you think it happens?
Coach, 100 times.
100 times?
Yeah, hands are always active. That's my
What do you
guess.
think, Coach? How many times do you think Steve Nash high fives their teammates? Touch them in the back or in the butt?
I will go higher, 150. I'm a Steve Nash fan.
You're a Steve Nash friend?
Fan.
Ah, fun. Great player. Believe me, great player. And once again, I can share you this information with you guys. But Steve Nash, believe it or not, he touched them 239 times in average.
Wow. Excellent information.
There is a video. There's a video on YouTube that I recommend. The name is High Fiving with Steve Nash, and then it will tell you about the times. 239 times. So this is an intangible. You want to make your scouting as complex as you want to make it. Okay.
Yes.
Next question, please.
Yeah. The most of them want your a copy of your presentation.
Okay.
So, yeah, we will send.
Okay. The people. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me.
And I mentioned to them, coach, that we'll have a private session with most of the video coordinators on how how you will step by step show how you edit film. So we'll
Yes.
have that.
Yeah. This is.
It's an invite only.
Yeah. Tomorrow I will have they invite me to a clinic with the Middle East coaches, and I will speak of this topic. And I want to make sure that, I don't know, in the next 10 days we have this very private session with coaches that you recommend, and I will have Middle East assistant coaches and scouting coaches joining together all to the clinic, and then I'm gonna be able to give you the software that we use. Okay. Open software, where we are going to be very technical in an easy language. I will go on a guide on where to download the video, where to download the stats, what software to use, and then how do we use it on this software. And then I'm going to show you a step by step on how to cut and how to editing and how to make the presentation. So I believe into the next few days you will try to get these people together, and then you guys tell me when you want to do this very specialized and private clinic on where I want to share basically all of the tricks that I use. And from the people wondering if right now I'm going to share the layer of how do we do it, yes, I'm going to share it, and I'm going to share also the Excel file. Right now it's uploading, so I can send it to Coach Ariel right now. Okay.
All right. Teddy, while we're waiting for the files, can you ask Coach your your question for everyone?
Yeah, I coach, having coached in 4 of the 5 zones and with over a 17-year career, could you give us 5 qualities that a basketball coach should possess in order to be successful?
The number one, coach, and I will do is I'm gonna do a video in, unfortunately it's in Spanish, but thank God I'm here with you guys to tell you the underrated category in this coaching thing, because people will define me as an international coach because I've been abroad. And I don't call myself an international coach. I rather wanted to be defined as a multicultural coach. And I think that's the number one skill that is underrated right now. You want to make sure that you are a multicultural person, and that means you got to be able and open and willing to accept uh, just people in general. I think that when you have the ability to communicate with people, knowing that they think different in terms of, I don't know, living philosophy, about politics, about religion, sexuality, economics, all of that. When you know you are working with people, and you gotta be open to the people, and I think that will be the number one key element that I will say you're going to be successful into this coaching, having the ability to be a multicultural people And especially when you are into this high level basketball where in Mexico we suffer, and I don't know if this happens in the Philippines. I believe it happens everywhere, but uh, you're gonna have your local people, like people that has been grow up into your community, into your system, into your country, and then you're gonna have these import players that will come from any part. Like everybody will be, oh, you're gonna have these Americans. No, import player. It might be a Serbian player. It might be a Spaniard player, and then there's a mix between imports. Like if you are allowed to have, I don't know, 3 imports, one can be from America, one can be from Serbia, the other one can be from Morocco, from Tunisia, and you gotta be, you have to be adaptable to those types of situations. And then you have another type of player that, like I said, in Mexico, we call them pochos. Those are the Mexican Americans. I don't know if you suffer from that in the Philippines. Philippine family that moved to the States and they have kids, they grow up, they play basketball, and they have Filipino backgrounds, and then you bring them. And that's another type of personality, okay? And then you gotta be able to work with those individuals and try to fit them into the system. So for me, and sorry for being so insistent, this coaching is not about only offensive system, defensive system. There's a communication system as well that has the same importance as the other two, because you want to make sure that everybody understands what they are doing onto the team. What do you expect from them? How you are open to receive their feedback. So, Dr. Teddy, number one will be being a multicultural person.
Multicultural coach.
One more?
Oh, 4 more if you got it.
He wants
No,
5.
Yes, go ahead.
He wants.
No, it's 4 more qualities. The multicultural coach, you're able to adapt to each group. This is, in psychology, it's called a special population. Yeah, so I can see that, coach. Is there any other that you'd like to add?
Yes.
A quality that a coach should possess.
Yeah, I will say the ability to put egos aside. Like I told you, I can really see that there is a pattern of us as coaches to have this tendency for being on too much ego, either for what we accomplished in the past or for the power position that we in that specific time. But once people see that you are humble enough to talk to any of the employees on the arena, that you are humble enough to come up with I don't know, let's say you prepare these 3-4 pages speech right before the game, and then you try to talk to your players, and then you are motivating, and you are just one step behind Martin Luther King in your speech abilities. But then after 2 seconds, you see it don't works, and then you are humble enough and you have the ability to say, you know what, this is not gonna work. I think having that reading, that sense of reading people and reading scenarios is another ability that will be very special. Being humble enough to know that you don't know anything, or that you don't know everything. Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, coach.
So, Coach, how's the download?
The upload right now
Upload.
it is uploading. Yeah, you know what? It's taking too long because the video is about 7 minutes, so it's many
Okay.
megabytes. So instead of sending the video, I'm gonna send you the link, so that way it's gonna upload fast. Okay.
All right. Or yeah, the link, and then also the
Oh,
PowerPoint
yeah,
presentation. Okay.
I'm gonna send you. Hold on. I think I have to cancel this. I'm gonna start it over, but it's gonna go fast this time.
No worries.
It's gonna go fast.
We
this
got time. We still got 20, 35 minutes, 25 minutes. So
Okay.
before
I want for the people out there wondering what do I look to? Let me see if I can, hold on, share screen. Yeah, I'm gonna share some now. You can see that, right, coach?
Yeah, we can see in stats. It's a bit blurry, but you know,
Blurry, coach.
yeah,
It's
it's
blurry
blurry,
again.
but we can, yeah. So I
Okay, I will send this again, but I just wanted to show you that this is a 12-page document that the Instat people sent it to us, and with some amazing data. Some amazing data as offensively efficiency. It will tell you all of the offensive actions that it happens like during the game, all types of pick and rolls, all types of post ups, transitions, isolation, cuts, handoffs. It will tell you exactly how many times it happened, the percentage that it was successful, and then it will give you a very precise chart of all of the players, and it will tell you how many shots they take in what quarter, what type of situation it was, if it was a player coming out from a pick and roll, if it was a cut, if it was a post up, and it will also give you a very nice information about the rosters. Like Instat will set up all of the rosters that play together, like during the game, okay? Uh, all of the combinations that you threw as a coach, and then it will tell you how they did during those minutes that they were together on the time. Now, if it happened multiple times for that roster to be together, it will tell you how they did on each one of these times, what was the production during that time, and all of that. So this is just an amazing tool, and these are some advanced stats that we use right now. For people that are wondering what do we use this huge data analytics. Now, obviously there's people that they don't have access to this instead, and that's why they will give them the Excel file with the four factors, and it's something that I really want to share right now with you guys. How do we do the four factors? Okay,
excellent, excellent.
and I think yeah, it is uploading. It will be there in any minute. Okay,
All right, all right. Did you send to
and
my
yeah,
Gmail or Yahoo?
I'm telling you right now. I sent it to the. Oh, now I see why it wasn't sending, coach. It was sent because yeah, I will send it to the Gmail.
Yeah, all right. Coach AV at Gmail.
Yeah, coach. Yeah, coach. Yeah, yeah, coach. It's a shame that I couldn't do the what's the name I cannot share the screen online, so you will be able to see it. But I will show you. I will show you right now. Well, this is uploading, and probably we're not gonna. How long we have, coach, for this clinic?
Well, we still have 20 minutes, coach. 20 minutes more.
Oh,
20 minutes. Good
wow.
time.
Okay. I really want to show you some X and O's because on this tendency that I saw, I found that, like I said, in average, between 24 to 32% of the game is played in these early games of the possession. And that means the transition game. There's not too many fast break, but there's a lot of this that we call in Spanish llegando. There's a lot of secondary offense coming into. There's this
Oh,
huge tendency. So
what again is your term in Spanish?
llegando,
Llegando.
llegando. Yeah, the translation
Llegando.
will be like
It's
arriving or coming. Okay,
okay.
and but basically it's a secondary break
Uh-huh.
where this tendency is now. If the basketball globally is moving into this quick possession tribal system, I think that instead of instead of going against it, instead of trying to establish a half-court team or something like that, you rather focus on what's going on and adapt yourself and try to get the most out of each of these possessions. That's why I wanted to share all of the clips that I have for what I consider are the most advanced sets, if you want to say it, in terms of offensive system when it comes to secondary breaks, transition. I know there has been some clinics on the past that I spoke about this subject, and I really love them. And I wanted to share just two type of sets that will give you and put you in a position where you can have high percentage shots during a phase of the game that happens a lot of the times. I'm telling you, and these possessions can go, because I have the data, this can go as high as 45% of all of your possessions. I've seen some games where out of 82 possessions, 35 or 40 go into into this concept. So if it has been used in a lot, you want to make sure that what you are running, it works. So I really want to show you some X and O's. Probably we're not gonna have the time to do it right now, but there are some X and O's. I wanted to talk about the drag with a pin down. I wanted to talk about a pistol, and another very good, floppy. It comes transition with floppy, and we don't when you don't get to do your floppy on the secondary break, it will get right into your Euro screen or your Euro motion game. Okay, automatically. That's what I wanted to share from the X and O's. Yeah.
Do you have a board or even a paper that we can you can draw now? Or I think they would our attendees appreciate will appreciate it. So, yeah, any ball pen you can.
Okay, hold on. Yes, I will. I will do something. Hold on a second. Yes,
Did you email coach already?
already. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go back there. Let me check the email, coach. Okay.
All right. All right.
I mean, we have time. Okay. Okay. I think what is happening is because the uploading megabytes they are taking away, because right now
Yeah.
it's 8 in the morning, and I
Mhm.
remember I have 3 kids and they are having online classes, all of the three, each one in
Yeah.
their
That's
class.
why. That's
So
why.
I think that's why it's
That's
taking.
why. Yeah.
That's why.
Because the videos were pretty good yesterday when we were when we were sharing on Instat, and I was up all day on Instat just downloading films and watching imports and watching our national players. So it's really a
Oh,
very good tool.
wow. Yeah, it is amazing. Now, I have the. I will share with you. I know personally, I know the general manager of this software, Nikita Tarasov. He's from Russia. He came to Mexico each one of the seasons that we have in the LMVP in Mexico. We get a chance to have some lunch and dinner together. And I have his personal information, and I will be happy to share it with you. So maybe something happens, and probably we get to see the Filipino leagues and all of the Asian leagues into Instant, because as you said it's an amazing tool, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And maybe we can have a good with Instat.
Okay, I will show you about hold on a second, because I wanted to show you this video, but it's not uploading again. Oh, here we go, coach.
All right.
Here we go. Something happened now, and I think I can open the video now.
All right.
I think now if I can open it, I'll show you rather on the video. Okay.
Okay.
And before I forget, let me show you this. Can you see it now?
We can see the diagram, but the text is blurry. Coach Gio.
Okay. I don't know what's happening with the text, but this is a website that is called Tactical Board, and this is very good for all of the presentations that we're having. I was using it yesterday, speaking of the speaking of some defensive concepts, but just for the record, you will have it from now. But I will share you the the video. Please tell me if it works. Is the video there, Coach?
Coach, unmute. Unmute your mic.
Yeah, is it streaming?
It's paused, but we can see
Okay.
a bit. It's blurry, but it's on pause.
Okay. This is some transition that that I call pistol, and it happens when the point guard brings up the ball onto the wing, and then you will have a guard right about 45 degree over the 3-point line. You will have the first trailer, top of the key, opposite guard, and there are three basic patterns. The first one will be a simple handoff, because in transition, nobody is expecting to play pick and roll defense, so we get advantage of this. So the first option will play this very easy handoff. On the second option, we're going to use the same concept, but we're going to use a screen from the guard, and there's going to be some communication problem, and then you will see some drives into there. The whole flow of this thing happens when there's a pick the picker type of action, and after there is no results on the screen, there it comes a back screen from the first big man trailing, and then it will get you open to the guard and into a pick the picker type of situation. Into this type of situation, the one that I'm going to show you right now, there is no shot from the 3-point line, and then you can get into high pick and roll type of action, or you can just drive and dish from that situation. Okay, you can use pistol as a side pick and roll transition type of action. Like in this case, you will see that he's gonna come again into a side pick and roll, and then you're gonna have high percentage shot. The same into this clip where it comes again, and then you'll play this into this side pick and roll. See, you will have it. In this case, the guard didn't use the screen, but he found a very nice and an aggressive lane. In this case, you will see Goran Dragic using the same concept, but instead of a pick and roll, he used a little handoff situation where you're gonna see it. In this case, you will see a player not setting the screen, but just going directly for taking the 3-point shot. Okay. In this case, you will see the guard setting the screen because he's big enough. In this, we have Josh. He's a big guy, a big guard. Instead of setting the screen and popping out to catch the ball, he will go straight to the post and get advantage of this position. On this one, see there's a re-screen type of action, so he's gonna come back for the 3-point shot. I don't know if the video is running good, Coach.
It's lagging, but you can understand the actions with your diagram. There's some questions, Coach.
Yes, go ahead.
You, from Coach Willie Chan, Coach, you have been in many FIBA zones. Which zone do you think has the highest level of competition?
Well, there's each one of the, how to say it, each one of the FIBA zones have their own rules, okay? And I don't make a comparison between basketball level because I can speak, for instance, I will tell you that FIBA Africans was very high, and at that particular moment, it was the biggest basketball because that was the reality I was into. So I don't really get to compare the levels because I think the beauty of this is getting to a market, at getting to a position, and trying to make the most out of the situation. Like it can happen to me that I don't know. People will say European basketball is advanced and all of this and all of that, but if you get a chance to go there and you don't develop as a coach, you are not able to install your coaching philosophy. If don't matter if you are into a high level type of basketball. Now on the opposite, you can be, I don't know, in Mexico, for example, and you manage to install your philosophy. You manage to achieve great communication and everybody making accountable for individual and team performance. I think that you had success over there. So to me, I don't really like to compare levels of basketball because for me, the toughest basketball is the situation you are in that precise moment because I want to make the best out of it. Every FIBA zone particular things, and that's where it comes the adaptability and the thing that I told you, being able to be multicultural and understand where you are going. In Mexico, we have this saying that, especially for coaches, that because we have many coaches from abroad, we have coaches from Argentina, Spain, Serbia. We have from all over the world, and we all like them. I mean, we love them. But for some coaches, they never land. They just stay on the plane. They just stay on the past country, and they think that what happened in their countries or their previous experience, they're just gonna come and try to establish. That's what I say. You gotta be able to have adaptability and land who you are into the system. So for me, that's the most important thing. Do not try to compare, but try to make the most out of or each opportunity that you are into, and take it as a blessing and make the most out of it.
Excellent, excellent, Coach. So it's a pity
That's
that we weren't able to show the videos, but I'll post it on our YouTube channel also for us coaches who wants to see it. I'm sure you have a lot of inputs also on them. Um, feel free also to reach out to Coach. I always reach out to Coach for imports because he's got very knowledge, a lot of American players who plays in Mexico and then ends up playing in Philippines and vice versa. So from a personal experience, I asked Coach about Eugene Phelps when I was coaching Phoenix before. So he gave me a very good scouting report on Eugene Phelps, and we ended up hiring Phelps and having a good season with him.
yes. I'm
Okay.
all, I'm always happy to talk with you, coaches, and and we can use this. I don't know if we have the time, but and you can you see this? Can you see this Excel file?
It's blurry, Coach, but you sent me something, so I can download it
Yes.
now. Yeah, I'll try to show it on my side.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
four factors
Yeah.
first.
I show you everything. Yeah.
Okay, Which one do you want to show me? Which one do you want me to
I
show first?
want to show the 4
4
factors,
piece?
coach.
Okay, okay. Let me share it. Okay. It's downloading now.
Okay. Before we open the file, we're gonna go to this live exercise that we're gonna do. Okay.
Okay, okay, coach.
And I'm gonna do it with you guys. So I don't know if you. I'm gonna share my screen because I will need everybody to open the grab a quick piece of paper. And I don't know if you can see this. Can you see it now, or is blurry again?
It's blurry. It's blurry.
Oh, I don't know what's going on, coach.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have the 4 factors now, coach.
Okay, please
Let's share
write
that.
in a. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's do first this one.
Yeah.
Did you send this also? This file?
Yes, I presented also. It will be.
In which one? Which one? The
Please.
importance of.
Now go to the main presentation, please.
The importance of basketball scouting.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And please go to the. Please go to
Which slide?
layer number 8. Layer number 8.
Okay. Layer number 8.
9, please. Sorry, 9.
9. Okay. Number 9. All right. Wait, I'll share my screen. There we go. Can you see it, attendees?
Yes.
All right.
I will need everybody to write down in a little piece of paper. Make a little chart like this. Okay. Please make a little chart where you can be switching, coach, between layer number 8 and layer number 9. Okay.
So this
we're gonna do some.
Okay,
Yeah, this is
8.
Is not opening the file.
This is 8.
Yeah, but it's not uploading the picture because I wanted to go to some real quick stats that I found from that I found yesterday in Eurobasket. Okay, and I don't know the reason it is not opening.
You're seeing the start from scratch, right? But but it's not.
There's no
There's no
images.
video.
The images are not
Yeah,
downloading.
well, I really wanted to show and give the people. Can you please, coach, go back to layer number 6?
There you go.
Yes, please open and this is from scratch. Like you don't know nothing about scouting, how you want to evaluate. Make sure you have. Make sure you answer these 4 questions and be like, how are we defending ball screen action? How you gonna defend off ball screen action? Like and now this can happen in any of the sets. So instead of going through the 20 sets that any of the teams might have, you rather focus on how you are gonna defend these 2 type of actions. Because to be honest, all of the sets end up either with a post up, an isolation, or some type of screening action, either on the ball or off the ball. So basically, from the defensive scouting process, you want to focus on how you're gonna play defense on these 4 elements: ball screen action, off the ball screen action, where are we influencing the ball on isolations, if we are gonna force into the baseline, if we are gonna peel defense and set it to the middle in some cases, if we are going to back up of the player, and how we're going to defend the post up, if we are going to play, if we're going to front it, if we're going to play 3/4, if once the pass is strong, we're going to double team from the top, from the baseline, okay? On offense, you want to focus on what court zones can we attack. Like you can, by analyzing all of the rival, you can be able to watch and analyze what are the areas where they are having troubles either rotating, or by default they are having those zones open for you to go into. So you want to make sure what zones are there available and how you're going to mix it against with your system, okay? The next question, it will be, how can we get high percentage shots against this team? Once again, you want to make sure that you don't just run all of your sets against a team. You want to make sure how you're going to get high percentage shots. What type of sets of your own sets you need to prepare and be ready with them, okay? Can we have, I mentioned this again, with against this rival, are we going to be able to have spacing, ball movement, and players movement? Because remember, these are the 3 rules and the 3 key elements for a good offense to happen. If you don't have one of these 3 key elements, then it's not going to be a good offense. You got to make sure you have all of these 3, okay? That's a quick guide on how to start your scouting. If you please, coach, can go to number 7. Remember, defense systems. We get into the communication system. How can we mess their clothes dryer? And this is funny because you don't know what does that means. And I will tell you a quick story about this. My kids, before they go to school, my wife makes sure that like every day, mostly late at night after they go to sleep, she makes sure that she puts all of the uniforms into the washer, okay, wash clothes, and then we will be like watching a show or something, 30 minutes, take out the clothes and put into the clothes dryer, okay? So when my kids, the next day, they wake up at 6:15 in the morning, they're gonna start to get ready to go to school. But what happens is that sometimes the dryer, for some reason, it will not throw the gas up somehow, or something happened. I have technicians coming, and the clothes will not be dry enough. They will be kind of wet at that time. So what my wife does at that time, she will turn on the dryer and speed it up and have it ready in like 10 or 15 minutes. But believe it or not, those 10 or 15 minutes that we waste from the very early in the morning, they have a huge impact in the rest of our day, because now my wife is trying to figure it out, the uniforms, and then they are not ready for having breakfast. We are late for going to school. Then it's a big mess, okay? So what I'm trying to say right here in the communication is that sometimes you gotta be able to find something just to screw somebody else's day from the beginning. Sometimes you gotta be able to, I don't know, to screw the other team from the beginning with something out of the box. You gotta be thinking out of the box. So I don't know if you are a type of a team that does a lot of man-to-man defensive system, and then on the tendencies with analytics, videos, and all of that, you find that this team runs a lot of side pick and roll between teams. Then you probably want to start into a combined type of defense in a triangle and 2, just to say something, okay? And then you start to mess their clothes dryer from early in the morning. You mess the rest of their day from the beginning. And that's what I mean on the communication. You want to be able to present something crazy that, as crazy as it might sound, it might mess up the whole game from the beginning. That's what you want to accomplish. You want to cut the head of the snake from the beginning, okay? And I want to make sure that I have something prepared against their communication system, because I know that nobody's ready. Nobody's ready to deal with adversity from, like, as soon as you wake up, oh, you have adversity. Nobody's ready to do that. So when you present something to this against the other team, nobody's expecting it. Like, everybody will expect you to go through what they see on the scouting, because they scout you too. So you gotta make sure you have something crazy, some plan crazy from the early phases of the game, because that hedge that you might gain into the early game, it might dictate how the game it will come at the end, okay? And then obviously, if you want to do that, you want to prevent that. So that's what I say, what is our plan B for everything? Like, in case something happens from the beginning, in case your clothes dryer doesn't work, what are you gonna do, okay? So you wanna make sure you have a plan B for this. And then I wanted to touch a little bit about the four factors from the stats, and how you get all of these data. It's a shame for some reason the file didn't work on my computer, but I think you have it right now, Coach, right?
Yes.
You have it, and you can share it with
Yes.
everybody.
I'll try to share it. I know we're on the last 5 minutes of our presentation, but you know, I have all of it here, so
Yes, Coach. Please feel free to have all of your staff, your assistants, to reach out to me in case they might have technical question or specific question. I know everybody, and because this happened to me in Mexico, actually I'm gonna dictate a seminar on May 16 in Spanish on how to use these tools. Like, most of the questions no coming are for, oh, what do you evaluate? What is the template about? And on all of this, all of that. So on the
just
clinical,
an idea on the four factors. Here's
yes,
the Excel file.
the Excel file, you go into factor, you go into where it says trips. You see it on the top. Right.
Trips, yes, here.
Okay, no, go a little bit down where it says local.
Local, okay.
And then you go to the column that it says final.
Final.
No, to the right, a little bit to the right. Yeah, no, before. It says the script. Trips, in the category trips, it will tell you by quarters, first quarter, second quarter,
first
and
quarter,
then total.
Total, here, final.
Yeah, yeah, go down into the category trips, a little one down.
Trips here.
Yeah, and then you
Free
fill
throw
it.
trips.
So, yeah, just for example, a team goes to, you want to make sure how many times a team goes to the free throw line, okay? Let's say a team goes 6 times. So please click on 6 times, put 6. Yeah.
Yes.
And then and then the next factor will be field goal attempts. Let's say a team have 65, okay? Then it will be scored field goals. And let's say they made, I don't know, 27. The next one, it will be the 3 points that they make. Let's say they make 7, okay? The next one will be free throws, how many they hit. Let's say they score 3. Offensive rebounds, I don't know, 8. Turnovers, 6. Points, how many you end up with? I don't know, 72. Now, if you go down, the Excel will make all of the calculations, all of the 4 factors, and then it will tell you how many possessions has been played during the game, 77. It will tell you the points per possession. Right now it's 0.94, and a good rate to have, it will be 0.95. If you are below that, then you are not good, okay? And then it will tell you directly the four factors: the effective field goal percentage, turnover percentage, and offensive. There is some data from the NBA and the FIBA that they have some standards. So if you go to the right, it will tell you the standard. Go a little bit to the right, please. Do you see them at the end? A little bit more to the right. Please move the whole window to the right. Right there. Those are the I don't know how to say it in English. Those are the parameters, the data that FIBA and NBA determine whether you gotta be. Obviously, if you want to be a very good shooting percentage team, you wanna be above that 49.7, and you want your rival to go down to that. If you want to be a good team with no turnovers, you want to make sure you go below that 13.8 rate of turnover percentage. And I think these four factors will give you in stats a very good feel of what is coming into when you want to look for video. Sometimes I've done this way too many times that by me just clicking into the stats, just putting this in 2 minutes, it will tell me how the game went. Like I already know ahead of time what's coming, what happened into the game. Now, sometimes I will see there's a team that went to the free throw line a lot. So that will tell me that probably the team didn't play pretty good defense on the ball. So I want to go to those specific actions. So when I do the scouting, I go into the analytics, into the numbers, and they will try to tell me something. And then I just go into the video, because if I just go to the video and try to make everything, it's gonna be a 2-hour video for the coach, and the coach don't have that much time to do it. That's what I say. You want to make sure your staff knows what is your coaching philosophy and what you are really looking into, and then with the numbers and the addition, you go exactly to what it works. So that's why stats are a huge part of the game. And these four factors excel that we develop our organization, it works. We tested, we did it with some engineers, so it works good. And it's free for you guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Coach. I'm sure, yeah, I've been getting a lot of personal requests to have it, and they'll be sending their emails to me. But hold on to your guns, coaches. I'll be more than willing to share it with you, because Coach Giovanni shared with us. For sure, we're gonna share. Uh, please visit our Facebook account and Hoop Coaches International. We can all share on one platform, so it's easier for me also to see which coaches really needs them or intends to use them. I don't want to be just keep on sharing.
Okay.
So whoever requests, please message Hoop Coaches International or make sure to subscribe in our YouTube channel also.
Okay, Coach. I know we have another clinic coming. I just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate way too much the fact for you guys to invite me. I love this project, and I look forward to meet you guys, but not only on a webcam, but in person. So we'll have lunch and talk about this basketball. And for the people wondering specific tools on the scouting, please, Coach Ariel, Dr. Teddy, let's work on a private clinic, like in the next, I don't know, 10 days, to
Yes.
have as many coaches that are into these tricks. I will show you step by step how to edit, how to make the layouts, how to make the presentations, how to make the reports for coaches, for players, for general manager. I can share all of the information. Okay.
Thank you so much, Coach, for
Very, very technical. Okay,
your
guys, I really
generosity.
appreciate it. No problem. I'm here to help all the time, and looking forward to see you, Dr. Teddy. It was a pleasure. It was a blessing to meet you. Look forward to share some psychological aspects, some
Coach,
visualization techniques, and you
if
will
you
share
ever
with
need my
us.
help, just get in touch with me, Coach. Happy to help Mexico.
Thank you, Coach Ariel. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And to the attendees, again, salute to Coach Giovanni for sharing knowledge again. We'll prioritize those that participated and attended the session live and message us on our Facebook account. Again, we'll be back 10 p.m. It's about 8 minutes from now. And we will be with Coach Radovan Trifunovic of Slovenia. He was the assistant coach when they won the Eurobasket with Team Slovenia. We had Luka Doncic, and now he's the head coach of the program. And I'm sure if you enjoyed most of the clinics, you'll also enjoy his clinic, and we'll learn a lot. Really learned a lot from you, Coach, and thank you very much for the generosity. We had some technical issues, but as you said, as a coach, we should adjust, and we were able to do good. So thank you very much, Coach. And
Thank
again,
you very much.
refresh your screens for the last session, coaches, and I'll see you again. Thank you.
Thank you.